Well, old Andy Ogles here in Tennessee has proposed an amendment that would allow Donald Trump to run for a third term because he says that Donald Trump needs more time to get things done and that nobody could get it done like Donald Trump. And so he thinks it should be extended for presidents to be allowed to serve 3 terms. Now, I know what a lot of you are thinking. Hell yeah, bring back Obama in 28. That would be awesome. Well, Andy's already got the jump on us. He's already thought about that, and what he said is, if you've already served in the past 2 consecutive terms, then you can't run again. In other words, Obama and Bill Clinton and George W. Bush, guys like that, they can't run again, but Trump could run again because his 2 terms wasn't consecutive, and so he can run again and serve out another term. Now, think about the true hypocrisy of this one. Think about the hypocrisy. How old is Trump? What would he be, like 82 in 2028? I think, if I'm doing my math right. If I'm wrong, someone can correct me in the comments. I don't care. But we're talking about a guy that would be around 85 or 86 years old in 2032. And they've sat here and talked about how that Biden was too old and he wasn't fit for leadership. And we have got Trump, who clearly isn't fit for leadership, who clearly has already got some cognitive decline going on, but they've never noticed it or paid attention to it. One of my favorite things that I ever seen was when Joe Rogan was talking about it. And he said, "You hear what Joe Biden said? Yeah, Joe Biden said there was planes in the Revolutionary War. Oh, man, if you say something like that, your career should be over. You should be done. You should be out. Jamie, pull that up. Show that." So they pull up Biden talking about that, and he's referring to Donald Trump saying it. And the guest is like, I think he's actually referring to Donald Trump said that. And he goes, "Oh, Trump said that? Oh, yeah, well, I guess he screwed up." That's the double standard that they have with this dude. They absolutely worship this dude. I'm not going to bring this one up on the screen, but I'm just going to read to you a little bit of what Ogles is saying about this. And this is absolute fangirl like never before, and it's absolute delusion. It truly is. But he says, President Trump's decisive leadership stands in stark contrast to the chaos, suffering, and economic decline. He honestly thinks that that's what we've been going through the last 4 years. He thinks that that's how bad things are. Americans have endured all that over the past 4 years. He has proven himself to be the only figure, the only figure in modern history. I'm sorry, the only figure in modern history capable of reversing our nation's decay and restoring America to greatness, and he must be given the time necessary to accomplish that goal. To that end, I am proposing an amendment to the Constitution to revise the limitations imposed by the 22nd Amendment on presidential terms. This amendment would allow President Trump to serve 3 terms, ensuring that we can sustain the bold leadership our nation so desperately needs. But he's already got the drop on us, and he's already figured out how to stop Obama or Clinton from running again. It can only be Trump. And their loyalty to him is absolutely off the charts. I've said it so many times. Their loyalty's not to the flag. Their loyalty's not to the Constitution. Their loyalty sure as hell ain't to the Bible when they're sitting there condemning a bishop who asked Trump to just simply have mercy. Their loyalty is to none of that. Their loyalty is solely to Donald Trump. And I want to go on record right now and say that I do not think any president should be a king. I do not think any president should be a dictator. I do not think any president should have unlimited, unchecked power. I think the president should have to work within the confines of the government and work by the rule of law, just like everybody else. I think he should be held accountable like everybody else, and if he does something drastic enough, which Trump definitely did, then I do believe that president should go to jail, no matter how mad it might make his followers, no matter how much unrest it may cause. I think they have to pay the price just like everyone else. I think they should be held accountable just like everyone else. And when I say that, I'm not only saying that about Donald Trump. I'm saying that about Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, anyone out there that decides to run in the future on the Democratic ticket. I do not want that person to have unchecked power. I do not want that person to stick around forever because times change. Times change and society is progressing faster than ever. And the last thing we need is an 86-year-old Donald Trump in office. And I'll laugh at that, not because it's funny, but because it's just that absurd. It truly is that absurd. But think about the fact that he's he's the only figure in modern history that can do this. He's the only one that can pull it off. And he has to have time to pull all this off. What he's talking about pulling off is completely unraveling and undoing everything that we ever worked for and put in place. The whole reason why that they shortened presidential term limits was because FDR won 4 straight and probably would have won a 5th one had he lived. He was a very popular president back then. And people in my part of the world were Democratic back then, and they were 100% behind him. And you know why? Because he was doing things that was helping the American people. He wasn't sitting there unraveling everything that everyone done. He was actually getting things done. He was moving this country forward. He was lifting people up out of poverty. And Franklin D. Roosevelt is the reason that why I'm sitting here in the South with the lights on. Okay, we wouldn't have had this. I mean, we would have eventually, I'm sure, but it wouldn't have happened as fast as it did had FDR not went to work for all of us. But they call that radical. That's a radical idea. He's the radical left, the radical New Deal. Oh, my God. And now here Trump is in there unraveling all of that, and he needs more time. That tells you everything you need to know about the opposite side. That tells you everything you need to know about who they are. They would have been absolutely, it's so crazy to me that they would have been ranting and raving. Can you imagine if we'd have said that about Joe Biden? Or any president? Yeah, let them have 10 terms. We want them to have all the time they need. They would be saying the same things we are. We don't want a dictator. We don't, and they would be right. You don't want that. But their hypocrisy on this one and their worship, their absolute worship of Donald Trump is off the charts. I said all along, you wait and see. The minute he gets in there, they're going to try to figure out how to undo the Constitution and let him stay for good. And here old Andy Ogles is, and it had to be some old boy from Tennessee do it. It had to be somebody like that, just make people look to Tennessee and go, boy, there's a lot of blooming idiots down there. And we have our fair share, but I do want to go on record and say that we have some great people here in Tennessee that are working really hard, and I highly recommend everybody go over and watch the entire episode that I did with Gloria Johnson, our representative here in Tennessee. She was part of the Tennessee Three alongside Justin Jones and Justin Pearson. Those 2 young men have a bright future in politics. They got the energy. They got I love Justin Jones when he says Barack Obama said we have to hope for audacity, or we have to have the audacity for hope. And then Jones says we have to have hope for audacity. I'll get it right in a minute. I love that. Not audacity of hope, but hope for audacity. I love that. And we do have really good people here in Tennessee. We have a lot of blue dots here in Tennessee that are tired of all this shit. But it's always somebody like Andy, by God. Let's let Trump for one more time. Oh, wait, no, not Obama. Hold on. That might open the door for Obama. We can't have that. Just Trump. He's the only one that can save us. It's going to be a long 4 years. I've been saying that for a while now. It's going to be a long 4 years. But we're up against people who worships Donald Trump. And that's what this all boils down to. I don't worship any politician. I have never had merch. The most I ever had, I had a Bernie Sanders bumper sticker on my guitar case back in the day. And funny story, I one time bought my uncle a John Kerry bobblehead. I bought my uncle a John Kerry bobblehead back during the 2004 election. And when I gave it to him, you know what he did? He laughed out loud. He was, oh, hell, buddy, why would you buy that? Why would you spend your money on that shit? I guess I'll stick it out there in the garage somewhere. It wasn't something. He didn't have a John Kerry flag flying off his porch. And I guarantee you, if back in those days, and I've talked a lot about my uncle here on the channel, me and him talk politics like most people do football or sports. But I promise you, if my uncle had pulled up in my driveway and had have seen Obama or Biden flags flying off of my porch and had walked in my house and I come walking out in Obama jammies and Obama shirts and an Obama bandana and I had Obama on my guitar and I had Obama's cardboard cutouts and everything in my house, he would look at me and be like, buddy, did you forget to take your meds? Like, what the hell's wrong with you? Get this shit down. We don't worship him. We voted for him. What's wrong with you? I could hear him right now. He would berate me for that, and rightfully so. I'm glad that I was raised up by sensible people like that. People that worships Trump, I got nothing for them. Absolutely nothing for them. People says, well, you don't want to lose friends over politics. This ain't about politics. This isn't at all. It's about the future of our country that I so see circling the drain, and I don't know how we're ever going to get it back, and I'm just trying my damnedest to get it back. That's all that I'm trying to do. But I appreciate your all support here on the channel, and I appreciate everyone out there that supports what it is that I do. I will continue to call it out and continue to try my best and continue to remind people that not all of us here in Tennessee worships Trump the way that old Andy Ogles does.